Hi everyone, welcome to the 11th webinar in 12D's Industry Solutions webinar series. My name is Lisa Stewart and I'm the Marketing and Communications Coordinator here at 12D Solutions. While we wait for our guests to finish joining and get comfortable, I'll be launching a polling question. You'll have about 30 seconds to answer about how you distribute large documents to somebody outside your organization when email isn't sufficient, and then I'll show the results. Okay, it looks like most people are using cloud storage or FTP, but we've got some other people using other systems, so I'm sure we'll all get a lot out of today's webinar. Our Industry Solutions webinars are designed to provide insights into overcoming challenges in an evolving industry in more effective and efficient ways. We'll keep running these webinars regularly and recording them for posting on our YouTube channel and website. Our first 10 webinars from this Industry Solutions series, as well as the first 5 webinars from our training series, are available online if you missed those. During this live presentation, you'll be able to type your questions along the way, as shown on the screen, and we'll answer as many as possible throughout the webinar. At the end, I'll also read out some of your questions to the presenter if there's time. Today's webinar on document transmittals will be presented by Dr. Sun Tay, who has been with 12D for over 3 years. Tay is based in Melbourne and has a wealth of experience in a variety of IT solutions. This Industry Solutions webinar looks at document transmittals. We'll look at the 12D Synergy workflow of transmittal preparation, transmittal approval and transmission, and how the whole process is integrated with 12D Synergy's document management, email and publishing capabilities. Over to you, Tay.
All right, thank you, Lisa, for the introduction. Hello, everybody. Today, I shall be speaking about document distribution and transmittals and how this are addressed using 12D Synergy. I'll be speaking about distribution of documents to an internal recipient. I'll also be talking about the informal distribution of documents to an external recipient. And I shall be addressing the formal distribution of documents, which is often referred to as a transmittal. Transmittal is a control process for the distribution of documents, typically for review, comment, or approval. A transmittal management system manages the creation, sending, tracking, and retention of transmittals. A transmittal management system can be paper-based or using a tool such as Excel, but a system that's not integrated with a document management system can be error-prone and can make auditing quite difficult. So there are a few challenges in managing transmittals. The first challenge is creating the transmittal documentation. When I say documentation, I'm thinking that we need to include information about the job, the recipient information, when the documents were sent, what documents and what version, who authorized the transmittal, and how were the documents transmitted. Now, all of these have to be documented. The second challenge, as I see it, is the gathering of the documents and ensuring that they are of the right version for the transmittal. Now, if this is integrated with a document management system, then it should give the user quick access to the right version of documents, and it will allow the user to validate the documents before transmittal. The third challenge, again, as I see it, is to be able to track and retain transmittal for future access and review. The last challenge here, the fourth challenge, is the ability to track acknowledgement and receipts of each transmittal. Now, I'm going to be demonstrating some of this using 12D Synergy and how it addresses the challenges. For internal distribution, I'm going to show that you don't have to email the documents. Instead, we can just email a link to the document. You're probably aware that when documents are large, say more than 5 megabytes or 10 megabytes, email is not going to work. The second thing I'm going to demonstrate is external distribution, where the recipient does not have access to your network. So in this case, we publish a link to the documents for download over the internet. The third thing that I'm going to demonstrate is transmittal. I'm going to create an issue set. I'm going to collate the documents. I'm going to document the transmittal, and then I'm going to transmit it electronically, and I'm going to track the receipt and acknowledgement of the transmittal. So at this point, I'm going to minimize this screen, and I'm going to call up 12D Synergy. So here we have an instance of 12D Synergy. I'm in a folder called Reports, and there are 2 documents in this report. So I'm going to start by distributing this to an internal recipient. To do that, I highlight the documents. The next thing I do is I right-click on the mouse, and it comes out with a variety of options. There's an option here called Create Link. So I'm going to click on that, and it gives me several options. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the links to the clipboard, and I'm going to show it to you, show you what it looks like. So I'm going to now call up my notepad, and I'm going to paste the link. Let me just correct this. So these are the unique addresses, 12D Synergy addresses of the documents. So the first address here, that's the link to the first file, and the second link here, that's the address for the second document. I'm going to show you now how all of that works. I'm now just going to close this, and I'm going to highlight the documents again, and I'm going to go back into Create Link. And in this case, I'm going to email the links to the recipient. So I'm going to click on Email, and 12D Synergy throws up the email with the appropriate links. So the first link is for the first document, second link is for the second document. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to resize the screen. So in the background, what I'm going to do with 12D Synergy is I'm going to move away from the reports folder. In my email, I'm going to click on the first link. And Microsoft says, hey, that link, it could be unsafe, but we know as this is a 12D Synergy link, we know it is safe, so I'm just going to say yes. And you can see in the background here, 12D Synergy has taken me to the correct document in the correct folder. All right, so now if I was to click on the second link, it will take me to the second document. So, okay, I'm now going to close this. So that was the first method, which is distribution of a document to an internal recipient. Now, what if you want to distribute it to an external recipient and he doesn't have 12D Synergy? We're going to publish a link. So, like before, I'm going to highlight the 2 documents. I'm going to right-click, and there's an option here called Publish. So I'm going to click on that, and what 12D Synergy is going to do is group the 2 documents together and build a package. And at this moment, 12D Synergy is asking me to give that package a name. So I'm going to call it Reports, and I'm going to say that these documents are available for download for a period of time, and in this case, I'm going to make it to the end of the week. I can encrypt this by putting in a password, encrypt it with a password, and a password here is demo. It could be anything that you want. Give it a description, and I'm going to call this regular monthly reports. And I'm going to send it out as an email, and when the recipient clicks on it, I want the recipient to see a download page in the browser. So we have the 2 documents in this package, and I want to add to it. All I need to do is click on this button. It throws up the folders within this job. And here we have an output folder that points to a plot file that was created using 12D model. So I'm going to click on that. So now we have the 3 files that are going to be published. I'm just going to click on Publish. Next thing that 12D Synergy asks me is the email address of the recipients. Now, I can add address of one line, an address per line, or I can go into my contact address book here. So it saves me from typing, and I can look up the contact address book, which is built into 12D Synergy, and I highlight the client. The client's email address is there. I click select, and it's inserted into that panel there. I can add an optional note. I'm going to say, let's have lunch this Friday. Once I've done that, I click Publish, and 12D Synergy creates the link here. If the client is online, I could send that link to him via instant messaging, and if he clicks on that link, it will call up the browser. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to close it. I'm going to call up Outlook. Now, here in Outlook, I have 2 email accounts. The one at the bottom, that's the client's email account, and up here, this is my email account. Now, all this is for demonstration purposes only. I'm now going to refresh the folders, and you can see that there's an email in the client's inbox. Now, if I was to open the email, you can see that the client has received a link that he can click on, and I shall do that right now. And that will throw up the browser and present him with this page. Now, all this is customizable. We have the 12D Synergy logo. You can put your company's logo if you want, and you can have disclaimers. All of this is customizable. It prompts me for the password, which is download. When I click on download, that will download the zipped file onto the local drive. So I'm saving it to my temp drive, sorry, my temp folder. So it's been downloaded. I'm going to open it. So you can see the files are now located on the local drive. So the recipient does not need 12D Synergy to be able to receive the documents. I'm going to close this now, and I'm going to minimize Outlook. So that was the second way, that is to distribute documents to an external recipient. The third distribution of documents is a formal distribution. So now I'm going to transmit this or distribute these documents to the client. Again, like before, I highlight the documents, I right-click, and there is an option here called Issue. What 12D Synergy is asking me now is this particular issue, what kind or what category. In this case, I've got 3 different categories. I've got one here that saves all the issue files or transmittals to a client. So I'm going to pick that. I've got to create a name, and I'm calling it monthly issue. Give it a description, regular monthly reports. Click Create, and it's asking me if I'd like to issue it now. No, I'll issue it later. Would I like to view the issue set? I'm going to say yes. So now we are in the issue section of 12D Synergy. This is the issue set that was created, monthly issue. And these are the files within that issue set. Now, I'm going to add another file to the issue set. I'm going to click on Modify, and I'm going to click here, Add. And as before, I'm going to pick the PDF file, click modify, and now we have the 3 files ready for transmittal. So now I'm ready. I can click issue, and 12D Synergy comes up with a panel. Essentially, it's a form that I should complete before the transmittal, and I can have as many questions here as I like. It's all user definable. So there are only 2 questions here. One is what's the reason for the issue? In this case, the drop-down menu. From the drop-down menu, I'm going to click approval. And who has authorized this transmittal? I'm going to say it's me. In the panel below, it asks me to list the recipients for this transmittal. I am going to go to my contact database, which is built into 12D Synergy, and select the client. At this point, I'm ready. I click on issue, and 12D Synergy would like to record how this is going to be transmitted. It could be done manually, meaning all these documents could be printed. They could be then put into a courier bag and sent to the client. But at this point, we can register, or we can record that this has been sent out manually. It could also be emailed out to the recipient through a generic email address, or I could call up Outlook and create a personal email for the transmittal, or I could publish. Publish meaning that the recipient can download it off the internet. So I'm going to pick this option, and 12D Synergy can zip the files. I'm going to say yes, please zip them, and it asks if I would like to have a receipt of the transmittal, and if I'd like to distribute it to just myself or myself and other contacts. In this case, I'm going to just pick myself. At this point, 12D Synergy has compressed the files and it's created the following email. So all the 3 documents have been zipped, and I can add a personalized message. Let's have lunch on Saturday. I'm going to click send, and at this point, 12D Synergy is prompting me or asking me if I would like to save this email to the job. I'm going to say yes, and I will indicate where, in which folder. So it's going to go into the correspondence/emails folder. And as before, I'm going to call up Outlook. I'm going to refresh the folders. And here in the client's inbox, you can see that he has received the email with the message, let's have lunch on Saturday, together with the zipped, with the files in the zip file. I'm going to close that, and if I was to go into my inbox, you can see that I have this receipt for the transmittal. Now again, this is fully customizable. You can have a logo, and you can have various disclaimers, and also how the information is to be presented. Now I'm just going to close this and go into the correspondence folders, into the emails folders, and you can see that the receipt has been filed away. I'm going to go back into the issued files. I'm going to make a slight modification to this transmittal. Instead of sending out version 3 of that particular document, I would like to send out version 2 of the documents. So I'm going to click modify. And you can see that this particular issue set, there are now two versions. The first version had version 3 of that document, and issue set version number 2, it has version 2 of that particular document. Again, to reissue it, I just click on issue. Again, completing this form. And picking the client as the recipient, I issue it, and I'm going to use the generic email address. And let's have lunch on Sunday. I love my lunches. So email, no receipt, and off it goes. Now, what I can do is for this particular issue set, 12D Synergy has recorded the two transmittals. It will record all transmittals of that particular issue set. So we have here an issue at 2/7/121 and the earlier transmittal at 1/18. And if I was to click on the details, it showed me for the second transmittal, it was emailed out. The reason for the issue was it was for an approval and it was authorized by Suntae. And it shows the files and the versions of those files that were transmitted. So that concludes the demonstration. I'm just going to summarize what we have what I've just demonstrated to you. So 12D Synergy is a document distribution and transmittal management system that integrates with document management. It integrates with transmittal management with a contact address book. It allows users to quickly and easily specify the recipients for the distribution. It integrates with electronic delivery, and it tracks acknowledgements and receipts of each transmittal. It records who, what, why, and how for each transmittal. So that concludes my presentation. Over to you, Lisa.
Thanks, Tay. I think we've just got time for a few questions. Max from Sydney has asked, what is the limit on the files when you're publishing?
Okay. Okay. In terms of the number of files or the size of the files, there's no real limit. But beware that you are downloading it from the internet. So if it really depends on how stable your internet connection is, but there is no real limit on the number or the size of the files that you can publish.
Sure, okay. And Ben in Brisbane would like to know, can we receive files from somebody outside the organization like we can with Dropbox?
Okay, well, no, not with the current version. The next version of 12D Synergy, which is version 3, I demonstrated to you version 2.0 of 12D Synergy. In the next version, version 3, which will be announced at the conference this month, it allows for web drops. That is, you can invite somebody to submit files. This can be then, and this can be submitted over the internet using a browser, and this can then be automatically uploaded to a 12D Synergy job. So this is particularly useful when you're receiving submissions and documents from contractors and other external parties.
Okay, thanks. And Adam from Melbourne wants to know, how will we know if somebody has downloaded the files?
Right, good question. I forgot to demonstrate that, but 12D Synergy does record when and how many times files have been downloaded. In the next version, version 3, you can even configure it so that you'll be notified by email when somebody has downloaded the files.
Thanks, Tay. I think we'll leave the questions there for today. Sorry to anyone whose questions we couldn't get to live, but we'll answer you individually afterwards. The recording of this webinar will be available in coming days through our website and our YouTube channel. Our next Industry Solutions webinar will be a very short 12D International Conference wrap-up on the 10th of August. We've also got some more great training webinar topics coming up from next week, so see our website for details of all of those. We'll keep updating it with many more topics in coming weeks and also keep you posted through email and social media. And as you can see on the screen, please don't forget we've got our next 12D International Conference very soon, so if you haven't registered for that, now is the time. If you need to contact us in the meantime, our details are on the screen now. That concludes our presentation for today. Thank you for attending, and we hope to see you at future webinars.